Okay, doctorarjaybe here, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about cataract. Now, what's a cataract? Cataract is basically a clouding of the lens of the eye, which causes difficulty with vision. Um, if we live long enough, everybody is going to have a cataract because cataracts occur just from aging of the lens and the damage that occurs from light hitting the lens over time, especially ultraviolet light. So probably you should say everybody should be wearing sunglasses from birth. This is not practical. So basically, we have lenses that are clear. And so they can refract the light and form an image for us, just like the lenses that are in your camera. But our lenses are made of protein, and protein can degrade over time. So basically what happens is we have a process that's called denaturization. And this causes the lens protein to break down. When it breaks down, it's not as clear anymore. Now, an example of denaturization is the egg white, the portion of the egg which is clear. You put it in the frying pan, and what happens? It turns white. The heat of the frying pan denatures the protein so that they're no longer clear. They basically now block the light, and so they appear white. A lot of our common proteins have a color to them. If you happen to look inside the body, you would notice that like the liver and the kidney have a reddish color. The brain has a whitish color. So common proteins have some sort of a color to them. Even our skin, if you took away all the melanin, would have a color to it. It wouldn't be clear. It would be a kind of more of a whitish or pinkish type color. Our blood has a color to it. It's a reddish color in the arteries, a little bit closer to blue in the veins. So you basically have the normal proteins, which have a color to them, and then you have the lens protein, which is clear. So it's a little bit unusual for it to be a clear protein. But because of this, when there's damage to the lens over time from things, like I said, like sunlight, you can have a cloudiness of the lens. When the cloudiness of the lens becomes so much that it starts blocking the light, we call it a cataract. I've been to my eye doctor, and I found out I have a cataract in both of my eyes. But because the cataracts that I have are small enough, I'm able to see around the cataract and form an image behind it. The lens does not have to be perfect for it to form an image. However, because of the cataract, there is some blurring. So it's not as accurate with reading as it should be, not as accurate at distance as it used to be. Now, when the cataract gets to the point where it's dense enough that it blocks vision, then the treatment is usually surgical. The ophthalmologist will make an opening in the eye, will extract the lens, and replace it with a plastic lens. This plastic lens will then help to form the image at the back of the eye so that we can see. The plastic lenses that they use, for the most part, have a single power. Our eyes are able to adjust the power of our lens because of the muscles that they have. By stretching and contracting the lens, we are able to focus on different distances. Unfortunately, the lens that's put in the eye when the cataract surgery is done can only focus on one distance. So usually what happens is the eye doctor will try to use a distance which helps the person, and they still may need to use some sort of a glass or a contact lens to focus at other distances. But like I said, this is a natural process, the cataract formation, and if you get old enough, you're going to have one. There's nothing that you did anything wrong. Being out in the sun just increases the chances, but again, I'd rather be in nature even if I have to have a cataract. So this is a little bit about cataract then.